In this lesson, we are going to find the surface area using nets. So this is lesson 11.2 for 6th grade Go Math. So first off, what is surface area? Surface area is the sum of the areas of all of the faces or surfaces of a solid figure. So in the previous lessons, we've learned how to find the area of parallelograms, triangles, trapezoids. And from there, we learned how to find the area of regular polygons and then composite figures. So now we're moving on to three-dimensional figures, and we're going to find the surface area. So when we're finding the surface area, we're having to take each side of that 3D object, find the area, and then add them together. And one way we can do that is by using a net. So here we have a net for this box, this rectangular prism. I keep calling it a box, but this would be a rectangular prism or a box. Okay, so a box is a rectangular prism. It reminds me of a shoe box or a Kleenex box. Alright, so when we're looking at this, I'm going to go ahead, if we'll notice right here, this side is 6, which means this is 6. This is 8, which means this is 8. That means this would be 6, 8. Since this is 4, this side and this side is also 4. So looking at that, notice how this is 4 and this is 8. Let's go ahead and label this one A. And then we'll label, let's go ahead and label this C. And we'll just go ahead and label this one B. Okay, so just to show you, that's where we get the 4s here from, is because each of the heights are going to be the same. Your widths will all be the same, and then your lengths will be the same. So if I'm going over here and I'm trying to use my net to help me, I know that because this is 4, this is also 4, which means this would be 4. And when we fold that over, that would mean this would be 4, which means that this right here has to be 4, and this would be 4, and this would be 4, and so would that. Okay, that also means that every one of these would be 8 because they're all the same. So all the way across there is 8, and that means that all these straight across would be 6 for right here. Then I've got this one right here that I haven't filled in yet, because these, notice C and F are the same size, so that means this right here would be 6 as well. Alright, so to find the area of each one of those, so face A, to get the area, notice this is a rectangle or a parallelogram, so I would just say 4 times 8 is 32. Now, A and E are exactly the same. They're the same shape, same size, 4 times 8. So let's go ahead and find E, and let's go ahead and fill it in with 32, and that would be centimeters squared. Alright, we'll move on to B. So looking at B, to get the area of this rectangle, we'd say 4 times 6, which is 24. So this would be 24 centimeters squared. So notice B and D are the same, 4 times 6. So when we find D, that's also 24 centimeters squared. Alright, and then C would be, what would this be right here? It would be 6, because this one was 6. And what would this right here be? The length would be 8, because that was 8. So we're saying 6 times 8, which is 48 centimeters squared. So that's C. And notice F is the exact same size, so it's also 48 centimeters squared. So all I've done so far is I've found the area of each side of this rectangular prism. So to get my surface area, I'm going to have to take all 6, there's 6 sides, so there's 6 numbers we're adding. We're going to have to take all 6 of those and add them together. So I'm getting my calculator ready. I have 32 plus 24 plus 48 plus 48 plus 32 plus 24, which gives me 208 centimeters squared. Another way I could have done that, I had taken each number and added it. So I said 32 plus 24 plus 48 plus 24 plus 32 plus 48. Another way I could have done that, though, because I know that 32 is used twice, 24 is used twice, and 48 is used twice, is I could have just taken these and then multiplied by 2. Or I could have said 2 times 32 plus 24 plus 48. There's different ways you could have done that, as long as you get 208 centimeters squared. Alright, so let's look at this next problem. So the nice thing about this problem is they've used a grid to help with this. So there's no numbers on this part, but there are here. So notice here there's 4 little squares there. Here there's 2 squares going this way and 3 going this way. So if I'm trying to find the area of face A right here, notice I have 2 and then I have 4. So 2 times 4 would be 8 centimeters squared. Alright, and A and F are exactly the same. So I'm going to go ahead and put 8 for F also. So I've done A and I've done F. And it helps sometimes to check them off so you don't forget what you've done. Alright, moving on to B. So this is 2 and this side's 3. So 2 times 3 would be 6 centimeters squared. So if I look over here, D is exactly the same as B. So it's also going to be 6 centimeters squared. And I went ahead and checked those off. So the only thing left is C and D. So looking at C, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 there, and 3 here. 4 times 3 is 12. And notice E is the exact same size. Alright, so I've got 8, 6, and 12, 6, 12, and 8. So add them together. So I'm going to add 8 plus 6 plus 12 to get 26. And then I'm going to multiply it by 2 to get 52 centimeters squared as my surface area. Surface area, a lot of times too, you'll see it abbreviated as SA. So surface area equals 52 centimeters squared. Okay, number 2. Alright, so notice on this one, my length, my width, and my height are all 5. So 5 all the way across. So if I can find the area of one of these, the rest of them are going to be the same. So if this is 5 and this is 5, that means the area here is going to have to be 25, which means that this one's 25, this one's 25, all the way through F. A through F is 25. So I could go through and I could add those 6 times, or I could just say 25 times 6, which is 150 centimeters squared. Cubes are nice. They're pretty easy. Alright, so in this next one, we're finding the surface area here. So we could go ahead and we could draw off the net and do it that way. So I've got a rectangular prism. Gonna draw them right here. Alright, so Here's my 9 centimeters. This right here is 3. And this is 7. This means this is 7. All the way across, those are all 9s. This would be 7. And these would be 3. Alright, so we're going to get the surface area here. So let's start right here with this smaller one. We've got 9 times 3, so that's 27, which means that this one, notice this would also be 9 times 3, so it's also 27. Okay, then for these little sides, this is 3 times 7, which is 21. This is also 21. Okay, so I've got the big ones that are still left. So this would be 9 times 7, which is 63, which means this one is also 63. So I'm taking, so looking at it this way, so I would be taking the 21, I'd be taking the 27, and I'd be taking the 63 and adding them together. To get 111, and then to take care of the sides we can't see on the back of the 3D figure, or to take care of the other ones here, we're going to double that to get 222 centimeters squared. Alright, so here we are again. This time we have a cube again. I'm going to try my best to make this look like a cube. Alright, so I know it's a cube because my length, width, and my height are all the same. They're all 10. So that means I'm saying 10 times 10 to get 100. So that means each side is going to be 100. So to get my surface area, I'd just take 100 and multiply by 6 to get 600, and that is centimeters cubed. Alright, next we have another rectangular prism. And these may not be drawn to scale since I'm doing it by hand. I'll try to make it. Oh, that's a square, so the rectangles will all be the same, so that helps. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my squares there. So 5 times 5 would be, that's going to give me 25. So here's 25, here's 25. So right here, I'd have to say 5 times 15, which is 75. This is 75. So this was the 15, this was the 5. So here's the 75. So that means that all the way across, it's going to be 75. Alright, so I'm going to take these 3, add them together, and then double it. So when I add these together, 75 plus 75 plus 25, I get 175, and when I double that, I get 350 centimeters squared as my answer. Alright, number 6. Darren is painting a wooden block as part of his art project. The block is a rectangular prism that is 12 centimeters long by 9 centimeters wide by 5 centimeters high. How much surface area does he have? As time was running out in my recording, I went ahead and finished number 6 for you, so you can go ahead and look at number 6 and make sure you understand it.